Welcome back to the Cantina. I am doing what I like to call a stare chat. Haven't done this in a long time, so I am here to talk a little bit about episode 6 some more and some other things that I didn't think of from The Mandalorian season 2, and not the last episode either. As I said before, in the novels, that thing you hear in the background is my dog scratching his neck. In the novels, we have Ben Solo, Dobby the house elf, as Luke's first student. And that happens about year 15 ABY. But does it even matter anymore? Oh, this is a pure live stream. It's not a premiere. Hey, Jonathan. I think I'm coming down with a cold too, by the way, so just bear with me. A lot of things have happened just today that I didn't. Hey, John, and Dave. Okay, cool. That I didn't really take into consideration. Things have changed. Grogu is now the first student that Luke teaches. Leia in The Rise of Skywalker, hey Troy, was actually the first student. She's not anymore. Okay, that's change. Ahsoka showing up, hey Joker voice, is a change. All right, she changes the timeline by being there. And the introduction by mention of Admiral Thrawn changes everything. Why? Grand Admiral Thrawn is a very serious villain, all right? General Hux is not. Okay, General Hux is not. Snoke was not. Even Palpatine, in that form, was not. Okay, would you, anybody out there, think that in any way, shape, or form, that Grand Admiral Thrawn would ally himself with the First Order? Why isn't he leading the First Order? You know, the First Order and the Empire are completely different things. That's H Boomer. That's because JJ doesn't know how to write a villain. The remnant of the Empire, I believe, isn't even Moff Gideon's what he's leading. He could actually lead to the First Order, okay? Because of the cloning and all the rest of that shit. Grand Admiral Thrawn is beyond that. When you read Heir to the Empire, he basically, I disagree, Jeremy. I think he's a fanatic, with I think ties to whatever the First Order is gonna be, okay? He's not a lackey of Thrawn's. I think the way they portray him, he's somebody that Thrawn wouldn't ally himself with. He's needlessly destructive, You know what I'm saying? So I don't think the First Order is going to exist. The First Order, when all this is over, is going to exist. I don't think there will be one. And what I think is going to happen is the Imperial remnant and the Republic are going to have to fight them together. That's the thing that JJ and the other idiots never see. Star Wars, when you look at the prequel trilogy, the politics are very, very intricate. Okay, it is not like, you can. I have to get up because I'm gonna go down into the kitchen. All right, come on, dog, get up, move, come on, buddy, go downstairs. Go on, baby. The First Order is such a minor, I think, caricature of what the bad guys should have been. All right? It's such a caricature of what the evil that they're fighting should have been. That it's laughable. Okay, it's really laughable. And I think what they're setting up is something on the order of a little more complicated, a little more depth to it. I would never expect J.J. Abrams to have depth in anything he was creating. But, I would have thought that Larry Kasdan would have figured it out, but he didn't. They needed George Lucas. And, when you're watching Star Wars and it turns out, look, Episode 6 of The Mandalorian was a grown-up show. It really was. And the violence, the fact that Cad Bane in live action is a scary mofo. Okay, he really is. Oh, and I've got news on that. Timothy Oliphant, as of right now, is only listed for one episode of the Book of Boba Fett. So now he may still be alive, but I don't know. I mean, so people saying he got shot in the shoulder. Well, he's only listed for one episode. Okay. God, I'm coming down with something. I hope it's not the coof. Anyway, it was, the terrorist attack on Madame Garza's place, the sanctuary. It was just, with an Imperial remnant. And what I think, if they do, they go into the Veil of the Force and change everything. And it's got to happen soon. It really does. Just to set things in motion, so they don't happen. Literally don't happen. When you've got an Imperial remnant led by a competent leader, and you've got the New Republic, and you've got this entity that, basically is based on eternal life for the Emperor. I see Thrawn looking for a dark Jedi to help him, with the war. Hey! Hey, Mike, how you doing? Okay. I'm not going there. I'm not going to go to Galaxy's Edge. Again, I have the money to do it. Oh yeah. Well, they're going to cancel the ST. They have to. There's no money in it. There's none. They can sit there and say they invested all this money, but they're not making any money. I mean, this is what they invested, this is what they've earned. And it should be like that. And there's no possible way that they can be happy with, fans walking around that park going, I think J.J. Abrams would understand. I think Ryan Johnson's already said his piece. I think they basically told him leave the fans alone. Yeah, and it's if look, Grand Admiral Thrawn, if he existed in the SD timeline, the way they should, it, it would not have been the way it was. Okay, here's something to consider. A few years ago, when they were building Galaxy's Edge in Anaheim, I got information that they had screwed everything up, violated a bunch of California environmental codes. They'd spent $1 billion already and had to tear it all down and rebuild it. All right. Interesting, huh? Okay, so they're up to their necks in this. And they can sit there and say, oh, this is working. We know it's not. Again, the cancellations at the hotel are real. They have to fix that. That is garbage. It's a dumpster fire. I am not. Again, if you're going to have a hotel like that, make it for adults so they can just have fun. It's real funny. An adult can go to... I know they are, John. An adult can go to a costume party, can go to a convention and cosplay anybody they want and look stupid. We have a bot in the chat, guys. And that's fine. You can't go to Galaxy's Edge and cosplay? Maybe there are people that are doing it now, I don't know. You can't go to the hotel, cosplay anybody you want to be, because you have to wear their costumes and you have to follow their schedule, which is like, what the fuck? I didn't come here. What, am I in the Marine Corps now? I mean, that's how regimented it is. It is. I don't, having, gone on many vacations and, yeah, it's basically that. So they got to fix it. They got to, they can have the Star Cruiser Hotel. But they've got to get rid of the crap that is annoying people. And they've got to make it friendlier. In fact, I think they should make it more for adults. I think there should be weekends. There should be 1 or 2 weekends a month that the only people that are there are adults having a blast and just, playing sabacc and, in their costumes, they skyrocket and just having fun and drinking and carousing, have a nightclub there. Yeah, it is. It's 46 hours actually, I think. Or maybe even 42. Hey, Jay. But reskinning, and I've heard other people that go to the parks say this, even people who are definitely, they're never going to get rid of this sequel trilogy. Saying it's very easy to reskin it. Well, that like the Ride of the Resistance ride, you could easily turn that into Endor. You could easily phase out Finn and have Han Solo in that part. That's not. That's all that is just changing a few things. That's it. Um, and the other things like it wouldn't really be that bad to reskin it. The infrastructures are the look. That infrastructure was there for the OT. Okay, we were gonna get Tatooine, I think Hoth, and Endor, and just maybe it would cost a little bit of money, but the end would be worth it. Yeah, and it's not really that it wouldn't really be that hard. Actually, the person that complained got a case. All right. So, what else? So I don't really see if they're looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn now that how the ST plays out is going to play out that way. I really don't, and because it doesn't make any sense now. Grogu replaces Leia as the first student, and Leia replaced Dobby the house elf as the first student in canon. So it I do too because I'm gonna say this right out. That's I got the news that they had screwed up. You know, well, we can talk about Thrawn and galactic politics in a minute. But I just they have to get rid of it. They have to. It's in the syndicate. No, I don't think Thrawn would stoop to that level. That doesn't make any sense. Here's the deal. Let's go back and talk about this. When you saw those two little pikes walk in with that thing, bomb, are we sure that those were pikes? Just because they were dressed like that? Give you an example in another fiction story. Put a one in the chat if you've ever read anything the late Vince Flynn wrote. Okay. Are you familiar with the book Term Limits? There's a reason why you will never see it in a movie. Ever. Okay. It is basically about a Navy SEAL who watched his unit get killed in front of his eyes because a U.S. senator blabbed to the wrong person. Okay, so him and his boys. He's retired now. He was retired as a commander. This is the first book Vince wrote. The I think antagonist protagonist is named Scott Coleman. He's about a 5'10", blue-eyed, blonde-haired dude. Okay, and he and his guys come back and put up a plan to eliminate people that were responsible. The first person that gets it is a senator that blabbed. Then another senator, then another senator, then the Speaker of the House. And there's a scene here that I'm reminded of when I watched those pikes walk in. There's a senator in this book who likes to take his collie dog for a walk every morning in this park. And he is what the operators and guys who do wet works call a sheep. He's a lamb, okay? You know, if you want to avoid problems, don't have habits. Don't do things at a certain time out there in public that you don't do it every day. Okay? Don't. All right? And what people saw step out from behind a tree and shoot him was a black man dressed in a hoodie and you know what I'm saying? You get further into that chapter, you're in a van being driven by two of the guys, and in the back, suddenly Scott Coleman appears out from under that disguise. Okay. It is misdirection on purpose. Okay. It is, you see this can of soda? Are you sure it's a can of soda? There could be beer in here. There could be wine in here. Or I could peel it back and it could say tea. Okay. Just because you saw those guys doesn't mean that was what you saw. All right. That's the thing that hit me the most in that scene in the book. I'm like, wow. I mean, you know, and there are people out there that have been murdered by what we think is one thing, and maybe it wasn't. All right. But what I think happened with that is I don't think they were Pikes. I think someone else is manipulating this. And I think at the end of episode 6, we're going to be like, who says that the twins have given up? Everybody seems to have forgotten about them. When have you ever seen, just a second, I got to get that sock from him. When have you ever seen a Hutt, if you've known anything about Hutts, give up on something that they want? All right? They didn't show up and, you know, do and give him a rancor and say, oh, we're sorry. That's not what that was about. That was an out and out fake out, as far as I'm concerned. Now I could be wrong, but it would be the height of bad storytelling. No. It'd be the height of bad storytelling if, come here, you little shit. If they just left it at that. I mean, Hutts don't. If you've ever watched the Clone Wars, they're literally the worst of the worst. They're conniving. They're backstabbing. I mean, here's the deal. Just what is he doing? Kojak! Lay down. Come here. Drop that. What is that? No. Come here. Give me that. What do you have? Sorry, guys. Life with a 19-month-old shepherd is never dull. Little shit. Anyway, they don't give up. I mean, you've got Jabba setting up his nephew Zero to be assassinated because he wants. Okay. We've got 4 rapid tests. I think everybody at Rudy's work has had COVID at least once, if not more, and we haven't gotten it. But I'm a sucker for vitamin D, so maybe that's helping. And do drink some red wine. But anyway, you know, Jabba sets up the other clans, the others in the Hutt Council, to get that bit of information from Zero. And the moment Sice Noodles gives it to him, You know, so the idea that they've given up. Now, could the Hutts be in league with Grand Admiral Thrawn? They could be. I would say that we may get a glimpse of Darth Talon. Yeah, obviously Thrawn needs a person of force who has ability to use the force, so they can do the battle meditation or something. And so her being in this wouldn't surprise me. Okay. The fact that Ahsoka appeared changes the timeline. The fact that she advised Luke to use his instincts changes the timeline. Now, am I worried? I mean, this is after I talked to Cameron. Am I worried that they could change, or that they would leave the sequel trilogy intact if Grogu chooses the chainmail? No, I'm not. Want to know why? Because Dave and John already have everything mapped out. Okay, they're building everything that we've seen now is alternate from even the books. What is all right? We were having a conversation about this on Echo Base. Nick asked me what constitutes canon. The movies and the TV shows are the canon, okay? That doesn't mean that a problem can't be changed, or that, because George often contradicted himself, okay? Here's the deal. If you look at it from straight up, looking down at all of this, you see sequel trilogy going this way. You see this other thing coming up. What Susan Arnold, what Bob Chapek, and what the new lady Alexia, can't remember her last name, are seeing is no money. They're seeing complaints. They're seeing cancellations. They're seeing people upset about the way things look, about it, the way it feels. You've got little kids wondering where Luke Skywalker is. Okay, at the parks. That's just the parks. Okay. Then you've got Hasbro saying we're not doing any more Kyle Ren or Rey, the bestest ever, at the park. That's an easy fix. Guy playing Kyle Ren, poof, he's Vader. Rey, just give her another job. Okay? That's it. That's all you gotta do. They got a Chewbacca. Okay, they got a Chewbacca. And considering that they had the plans for the OT meshed out, where I don't know if they had started building yet, but they were close to it. To where when Iger came in and said, no, we're not doing that. Because Kathy, what I see when I look at everything, you see the Falcon, it looks like Docking Bay 94. It really does. All they gotta do is get rid of that fucking square or rectangle sensor dish off the Falcon and put the round one on. And now you've got the Millennium Falcon, all right? Han Solo's Millennium Falcon. Then, let's see. You could have, it would not be a hard Rise of the Resistance, do a few virtual changes, and it's Endor. Okay. The only thing I think that would even cost money, a lot of it will probably be Hoth. Wouldn't Palp being killed in ROTJ via WBW only make sense to be done after the events of the SD? So, no, actually, no. Critical, no. Okay, no. Do we even need to see Palps? The only place where we should see him. Yeah, see? Do you know how easy that would do to say, here's the, you go over there and help Snow White. Yeah, see, they're, and that's the thing is they're not making money. Yeah, but I think that Han will go for a regular dish. It just, that rectangle just ruins up the aesthetics and the line of the ship. And it frankly gives me PTSD. Okay? And that wouldn't cost a lot to get rid of that and put the round one on. Uh, oh yeah, I mean, R2, that's the thing, is people don't want that. Okay? Little kids asking, where's Luke Skywalker? And, it's, when you're watching everything and you're seeing this happening, um, and Ahsoka, today, okay, Eddie just sent me a thing, and I'm gonna get off here because I gotta read it. Maybe I'll come back live. Um, if she faces Thrawn, we're gonna see Lothal. What I think, because what they're doing is they're dovetailing everything together, and the end will be a movie. Okay, I told my friend Lee, don't look at Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett as a series. Look at it as a very long movie with cutaways. Boba Fett is a cutaway from Mandalorian, and now everything is starting to come together. What I think happened with the beginning, with Mandalorian, or the Book of Boba Fett, first 4 episodes, well, you've got basically anti-KK graffiti, or KK graffiti being painted on a moisture farmer's house by a bunch of terrorists and thugs. You got another case showing up on a tent after Boba's tribe was massacred, which I think the Pikes did that. All right, I think the Pikes did that. And it's like, there's, all right, I was going to tell you about this. When you're watching episode 6, all right, there's a montage of nature. You see leaves, see water dripping, and all the rest of that stuff. Doesn't that remind you of TLJ? And then the droids building what looks to be a beehive house, a building for a school. The only thing is it's a good story, all right? That's Jon Favreau saying, I can take what you did, Ryan, and make it work. Unlike you, because we've got Luke basically doing what a great Jedi Master would do. Okay, not refusing to train the kid. But, as Cameron said to me, it's all about choices. Okay, this doesn't mean that the ST isn't going anywhere. If he makes the choice of the chainmail, not the lightsaber, okay? It is very telling to me that Favreau chose to use those elements. If you ever watched the movie Chef, have any of you guys seen it? It was, John wanted to direct Endgame, or maybe it was Civil War, one of the big closing movies of Marvel. And during the creation of Iron Man 2, he got a lot of flack for it. And he was really pissed off at the Marvel executives and Disney So what he did is he basically made, of course that's plausible deniability. They used two Ks. All right? That's kind of a little dirt, you know? So this movie that John made and starred in and wrote and directed is about a chef who's just had it with his boss, who interferes all the time. They've got a big critic coming, and he's got... No, she's not. She's not. Did anybody know that? KK is not the executive producer of The Acolyte. I don't think they're gonna make. Look, it's done. They're not. You know, they get an if-then contract with that girl. Okay, but anyway, so this critic shows up. Jon Favreau had this beautiful spread. I mean, when he was talking about the menu, he wanted to give this guy, of course it was off menu, because this was a special thing. And basically the owner goes, played by Dustin Hoffman, goes, no. This is what we need to do. We need to just do what we usually do. And they get into a big fight. John basically tells him to go to hell and leaves. And his kid, and that's how it starts. He ends up quitting his job, and he's divorced from his wife. They have a little boy, so he goes to Miami to just be with the kid and help her out. And they end up getting a food truck, and they travel, I think, Route 40, which is what we did, from down in Miami all the way up through the Pensacola, the Florida Panhandle, and across the Mississippi and everything. And it was very interesting because a lot of people say that was a comment on how badly they treated him making Iron Man 2. And it doesn't surprise me at all that he would do that. So him taking shots at KK like that, these things don't exist in a vacuum. Okay, wow, they're Clitonian. You know what? I already thought about that. Could have just put 1K on there. Instead, they did 2. And what does that mean? Those are Kennedy's initials. Okay? And you can rationalize it and poo-poo it all you want. Those are Kennedy's initials. And I guarantee you, when somebody like Pablo Hidalgo saw that, he knew exactly what they were doing. Okay? That is where you know that there's something going on with Lucasfilm. The disjointedness of it. Okay, the fact that it didn't feel like Filoni or Favreau were like over the story. So, and I'm gonna say this, those might have been filmed during the Gina Carano mess, because Boba Fett started filming a year ago, November, and didn't end filming until June. Okay. So we all know what was going on. We all know that there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes and drama because of what happened to Gina, etc., etc. And, you know, probably Filoni and Favreau going to Chapek saying, you know, we can't do what we need to fix this now that she's gone. We are making a show for her. And again, I know this is going to fall on deaf ears because of black pills. Gina was a convenient pawn. She was not the target. Jon Favreau was. Okay? It's obvious to me now because her leaving torpedoed Rangers of the New Republic. Yeah, well, I think the divide is over. I haven't been on. Will you stop it? It's raining outside. I haven't been on Twitter for a long time. Yeah, Clutonian Kings. I thought they were a Nikto biker gang. Anyway, it's just it. Here's the thing. The war is over, but we saw it happening in front of us. We've got it happening in public. The first article that came out 2 weeks after the big announcement about Gina that never went to Disney. Kennedy did that herself, and she leaked it. Okay, I still say that it was already done. Okay, because I'll tell you something. Gina was awfully fast talking with Ben Shapiro. You know, she already had that deal done. All right, so you know the idea that she ran to his arms. Fan Dude Coalition. I love it. So I'm like, you know, there's going to be a book written about all this, and we're going to find out a lot of stuff. But, you know, all you got to do is read between the lines. And the Atlantic article, you know, Jon Favreau has basically saved Star Wars, and Kennedy hasn't done anything for it and ruined it. I mean, that's what that article said. I mean, that is the article, that is a magazine of record for the elite in Hollywood. Then we've got, you know, Kennedy losing all of her shows. You know, The Acolyte isn't even on her radar anymore. She isn't listed as a producer. The only person listed is Leslie Headland. I wouldn't doubt that Headland, she I think back in October, excuse me guys, she was raising hell again when they got that girl they said they were talking to. I think that was happening when Disney threw Blood and Bone out to be auctioned off. And I wouldn't doubt that, you know, we're going to find out The Acolyte's been canceled or sold off as not a Star Wars property. All right. Why? Because it isn't, I mean, no one's clamoring for it. And to the people who think Twitter actually matters to Disney, Susan Arnold's not on Twitter. Bob Chapek's not on Twitter. They have no F's to care about that, okay? No F's to give. So the idea that they're going to be listening to those crazies. And I'll tell you something else. If you go to Twitter and look at their stocks, yesterday they were selling at $36. 36 on the NASDAQ. $36. You could buy Twitter with 50 cents and a ham sandwich right now. All right. That place is going to not be here soon, or it's going to be bought up by somebody and it's going to be changed drastically. Because, hey, if I'm an investor and I'm looking at the stock price, I'm doing this. I mean, but I'm going to say everybody's stocks have fallen now because of, you know, the Senor Poopy Pants in the White House, opening up his mouth about Russia, okay? And that's why. I mean, I think Disney was up to what, 142? They'd gone down to 135. When I started watching Disney stocks, for reals, when the pandemic hit, it went down to 79. And then it went, I mean, it's highest it's been back up to like 200 something. And it's fallen again. And it's just, governments, not, and our government especially, not letting go of the COVID shit. And, it is what it is. But, yeah, I mean, so when you're looking at all this and you see Grogu up to make a choice, and we might not know what choice he made till next season, all right? We might. We might not, but I have a feeling we'll probably have an idea of what happens. I honestly, what I think could happen is Luke at the end of episode 6 shows up with Grogu to pass him off to Mando, and you see Mando fly Grogu around in his fighter. I don't know what the rumors are. I haven't gone to read that. But I think that he'll give Grogu back to Luke. Here's the deal. Luke had a lot to say when he said, "You're older than your teachers," and all right, yay. That's great. That's a big thing to say, okay? And then also, well, if it's 5 years after Endor, he'd be 5 or 4 or 5. Because he was born literally a year after Endor. I mean, Han and Leia got married after the battle. It's like, there's so much wrong in that. And I'm literally looking at, I don't know who wrote the book. I think it was Wendig. But you really fucked this up. I don't care if they've known each other for 3 years. Okay? I don't care if, all the stuff at Jabba's palace and saving him. There has to be a time period where you have like a normal courtship going on. And it's not like she's seeing other people, but there has to be a time period. And it literally took like 3 years for Han to ask her to marry him, or to get that to go. Then we had, the courtship of Princess Leia, which was like, that might be, okay? But that doesn't mean that if he chooses Mando, that the sequel trilogy is bound to happen. And it doesn't matter what choice he makes. I mean, Cameron was like, they've already got this mapped out. And why? Look down and see where they are. Disney stocks are taking a hit. Investors are pissed off. There was a rumor that the board wants Kennedy gone. Okay? They want her out. There's absolutely no, we don't see don't say Latinx. Don't. All right? Do not. Okay? Do not. I mean, I will bounce you. All right? It's like saying the name word woman with an X. It's like, you know, you guys are having a riot in the thing. It's the money. It's the money. Okay, see, man, it's all right. It's the money, all right? That's it. That's what it is. And you have to understand that money makes the world go round. Greed is good, okay? All right, right now it's really good because it's probably going to fix what was broken. All right, again, I got the money to stay at Galaxy's Edge Hotel. I'm not gonna. I'm not. Why? Because I know, Mexican Iron Man, I know. I want tacos. Actually, I might go get some for lunch today. It's just, it's about the money. And ultimately, that's what's going to dictate where the sequel trilogy is. So, I think what you're going to see when this starts revving up, things changing at the parks a little bit. Okay? You're going to see that. What do I think about that, the investor meeting? Well, 14 hours before episode 7 drops, okay? And it is literally, I think, probably going to help their stock prices, all right? Having Luke on there was a boon that no one expected, and as long as he was, I've said this before, I got into a fight with some SJW who doesn't understand. Hey, Carlos. CGI is probably going to replace actors for certain roles. Well, they they can do whatever they want. I'm, where was I? What was I talking about? Now I forgot my point. Anyway, but this is going to be a process. Okay, you got Luke showing up for a long time through all this, which is huge. You've got the rumor in the leak that Harrison Ford, Han Solo, is going to show up. We don't need these actors anymore. We don't need Sebastian Stan. Okay, we don't need awful Aaron Yuck. Okay, we don't really even need Anthony Ingruber unless he's underneath the CGI makeup. All right, I'm not saying replacing actors completely. I'm saying for a big franchise that has legacy characters that are literally were the, I mean, when everybody saw Harrison Ford, they would say, there's Han Solo. Mark Hamill will always be Luke Skywalker. Carrie Fisher proudly strutted around as the princess. They can't replace them. All right? And if CGI works, then why would you even want to pay the money for an actor to do that when the fans are going to bitch? Just like we bitched when awful Aaron Yuck played Solo. That was horrible. That was indescribably bad. Okay? That was the worst thing I think I've ever seen an actor do in my life. Okay? But as far as like what changes in the timeline, Ahsoka being there, Ahsoka showing up with Luke, and he never met her in the canon, is significant change. Admiral Thrawn himself being alive and well, causing trouble, is a change, okay? I think even Hutt's showing up after Vader apparently, if we're going to look at the comics, Vader, after Vader destroyed the Hutt cartels, if we're going to look at the comics as canon, that's a change. Okay, there shouldn't be any Hutts, should there? Anyway, I gotta go because I gotta see what Coach sent me. Oh, my stomach. Ugh, God. Anyway, you guys be good. Have an awesome afternoon. Anything happens, I will be back. See you around the galaxy.